But through that process was when you were working on your play. So I was telling him about the fact that there's this young girl who's doing everything that I ever wanted to do in my life, and she asked me if she could use my stories to create this play, and I'm going, yeah! And I said, it's like, so she's inspiring me. The fact that she's come to me and asked me for something gives me a sense of purpose and value, and I've loved it.
I love the vintage and the old, and the messages that come through to us that I've got new life. And I've got music and things. And I'm trying to clear up this space, because this is where you're coming to my energy, which is my house. But I've got my own artwork up. But then an old picture that I found in a junk shop, because I just adore it. Which is like, a kid drew it, but then that's very much like my artwork. My child comes out. But it's all about living in the lovely. The basket's hilarious, right? Because I bought a bike to try and get fit. So the bike's in the fucking shed. I'm very greatly influenced by Frida at the moment. And here's my Italian corner. No, my Turkish corner. Because I have to feel in the lovely. So I have to sit here with this and pretend I'm somewhere else. And it has to have all the colours of the rainbow. Because it's got to have the colour, because then there's the life, and there's the crystals, and there's the spiritual. And then I painted the fireplace, and I thought, what the fuck have I done that for? But it's like into the blue, and of course my David. And I've got angel protection. And then this is what I've been doing, which is painting and doing pictures and mermaids and people, and this is my therapy. This is how I'm exploring all the horrible things that I've been feeling for so long throughout this grief period. It doesn't matter what comes out, I just let it come out. But there's very childlike. But it doesn't matter. That's loving the people that have gone. And the fairies. So I made a fairy garden. So all the fairies live in there and in my head. Feeling the love on the chalkboard. You can come and talk about all your problems here. We meditate in the living room and we create in the living room. So that's like sort of where we're at. First time I got drunk. You can't back now me. It was an half a bottle of sherry. I pinched out my mother's cupboard and I walked along in full sway and I strutted down the road with my boyfriends. And I was so drunk I fell over and I had my tights on, but you used to have your pair of knickers on, your tights on, another pair of knickers on to hold them up because they didn't fit properly. I had these lovely little black tights on because my legs were like olive oil. Used to get called olive oil. I had this bloody great big hole in my knee and I was so drunk I said, it's alright, take them all on, take them all. So they did, but they're my friends. So, you know, I didn't lose my whole dignity. And then at school, when I was at school, I lived quite nearby. I used to nip out, go on, take my mother's antidepressants and whatever else she had in the house, just to make my day go a bit better. When I was about 15, because I was quite an unhappy girl. In many ways, but bad. My other nickname was Titsalina Bumsquirt, or Torpedo Tits. I remember being in the toilets at school, I was 10, and I discovered I had pubic hair, and all the school, when the girls went in the toilets, they said, what you got? Come on, you must have done that. No? Oh, well we did anyway, all a little look, little bush, little bit of the bush. My first boyfriend was Larry Brooks when I was 5. I loved Larry Brooks. I was besotted with Larry Brooks. And we played Postman's Knock at birthday party. So if you had your number picked and the boy was out there and they knocked and called your number, we had to go out and kiss him. Well, it wouldn't kiss me. And I was like, that was my first thing of rejection. And then he moved away anyway. And then Richard Turner was my favourite, but he asked to see my bull of the bush. And I said, no. At Gravesend swimming pool. Show us your bull of the bush. I said, no. I didn't show my bull of the bush if I was about 14, and I shouldn't have done then. But I got persuaded heavily by the gorgeous young man, and his name was Johnny, and he was the only like West Indian boy in the school, and he's bloody gorgeous. And he turned up, and I thought, and we were very much in love, me and Johnny. And he used to sing, what's his name? Let's Stay Together, Al Green and all that. We used to sing to each other in the living room and everything. And then of course he did do his doings, Marble of the Bush. And I didn't know what he was doing because I was naive. There was a point in my life when I was naive. And next day he went to school and told all his mates about it. I'm at school thinking, and the next minute, come to the headmaster's office. I was called in now, my mum and dad were in there. What have you done, you dirty bitch, sort of thing. And I learnt the word shame. Shame on you. Not, oh no, someone's done something to you. Yeah, no, you, shame on you. You were going to children's home if you don't sort it out. Not had to talk to him, nothing. I was heartbroken because I loved him. That was really sad. And then what happened? Well, lots of things happened. I left school, I went Brighton with my friends. Oh dear. Went out dancing, went back, bloke came back. Did something again, because I was still naive. Bull of the bush. Pregnant. 15. Crying. It was right into me, he liked me, he really wanted to see me and everything. But it was like, I didn't know what to do. Told me mum. Mum said, your father is so ashamed of you. All the neighbours are so ashamed of you. Go get rid of it. No lie. What do you want to do? Shame, shame. Went to the doctors. Shame, 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 dirty cow, whatever. So they sorted out an abortion. And I went to the hospital, and a horrible doctor who gave me an internal with nails about 10 inch long, treated me like a piece of shit. And the minute I woke up, I started crying. I cried. I've cried ever since. I cried and cried. Big black empty hole in my stomach of guilt and shame. Never forgave myself. Still don't. But then if I had done that, my life wouldn't be what it is now. I wouldn't have the family that I've got now. But it was horrible. Horrible. And I was taught shame. So I spent a lot of years feeling shameful. I decided, well, if they're going to tell me I'm naughty and shameful and I'm bad, well, then bloody well be bad. So I left home. And I took loads of LSD. And I went to live in a squat. I was hitchhiking with my mate Laura all the way to Guns and Ives. And we both had a bag each. I had my teddies and my records in my bag. And we bought this knife. And I said, if we're hitchhiking, you sit in the front so I can see what's going on, and I'll sit in the back with the knife. So, off we go. And this bloke's driving us, and we're coming near Somerset. And it's like coming to evening. And that's where he was stopping. I said, that's all right, we'll get out here. She went, no, you get out. I said, what? She said, no, you go and wait over there. I said, what? She went, I like him. I went and stood over with the bags, with the bins round the corner, and she shagged him. We are talking about the 70s, darling, very much free love, do what you want. And I thought, well, how'd you like that then? Anyway, off we went, and we were in Yeovil in Somerset. And we had our Afghan coats, stuck patchouli, we had a little bit of smoke, and we had LSD with our bags, our teddies and our records. And so we took this trip, this LSD thing. We said, what we're going to do now? Like the Woodville Halls, like in the town hall. There was a band playing, a local band. And we said, oh, we'll go to that, we'll go to that. And when we got in there, the music they played before it was Sensation Alex Harvey Band, which you've probably never heard of. But it was absolutely fantastic. Apart from my David Bowie. That's my second favourite thing. So me and her turn up, tripped out of our heads in this Yeovil little country town village, dancing all over the place, yeah. Had a great night, met up with the funky hippies that were there, and they all said, lovely to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And then we had to sit by the wall all night, because we're wide awake. And I remember this little beetle coming along and I thought, who's that? And I had a conversation with the bloody beetle. And the police car come round, hello my lovers, what are you doing? Well, we were too late to get a B&B. And they kept doing this route round the one-way system every hour. So lucky we weren't searched. I had my patchwork jeans on, my LSD stuck down one of the patches. Used to cut all the labels out your clothes and sew them on your jeans, because that's funky. But you know, one that wasn't quite sewn up. When we was tripping out in Yeovil, in that squat in Yeovil, I left home. And we was all tripping out, and this bloke said, come out in a car and listen to this. Now this is Yeovil in Somerset, there's all sorts of white witches and stuff. And we sat in the car, and he pressed play on the cassette tape, because it was a cassette tape. We were like, what? And this voice is going, ba, ba, ba. And it was sheep. But they were all talking. They were talking sheep. Now, I think it might have been what we were taking that made us think we had conversations and heard the sheep having conversations. Ba, ba, ba. And it was like, yeah, they're real, like, creatures, and they can communicate with us. Never heard it again, what else did we do? Went to score some drugs in London, a bit of marijuana, grass we called it. And on the way, we thought we were buying some Mogden and stuff, and it just turned out to be aspirin. So we just cleared our headache, didn't get a high. And then this bloke said, yeah, come to our house. So we travelled, I don't know, 16-year-olds following this black bloke across London. Went to this big old house and went inside. And he said, yeah, wait in there. So he put us in a room and he took Laura out of the room. He said, you wait in there. And I was like, what? And then he come in and he's like on top of me. He's like, there ain't no fucking grass. I love your ass. So he tried it and I had a period. And he was like, nah, I ain't touching that. So him and his mates all went in and gang raped Laura instead. We come out, looked at each other, and just never said a word again about it. All for the sake of some fucking grass. Stupid. And we did buy some, go to fucking herbs. Oregano. But I've been studying astrology a lot, because I'm on my second Saturn return. Do you know about second Saturn return? Oh yeah. You have a Saturn return in your life when you're sort of about 28. Briefly, it's like if you're not living the life that you want, you're going to break out, you're going to go for it. So a second Saturn return, if you're lucky enough to get to it, because I'm nearly 60, it's like, right, if you're really not happy now, you're going to fucking change it. So you need to break away from everything. I've got a strong urge to move, but that's been a pattern in my life, so I don't want to move on a whim, on this urge of change. It's like that's not always what needs to change, it's what I'm doing that needs to change. I don't know how at the moment. Specifically, well, I do. I shouldn't lie. I do know how, because I write. I paint, but I write. And the idea that keep coming, the ideas that keep coming is about putting things in writing and telling my story. Change your life, change direction, go and live in a mountain and write. This is my mountain, this house. You've got it's here for a reason, I'm here for a reason. For whatever those reasons. And it's like if I hadn't had this house, I wouldn't have been able to care like I did and do those things, because when you start off an adventure, you think you're going one way and you completely change direction. And it's like, oh, okay, it's not for that. It's pixelation. I love that, pixelation. Because I had counselling last year, because I had severe panic attacks. Nothing like I've ever had before. I've always had panic attacks all my life. I had panic attacks in the assembly at school when I was 5, in my living room at home. But last year, oh my God, it was awful. And then I went to see this guy, and it was Dartford, out of town. And so I borrowed Lizzie's car and I played David Bowie, go there, blasted out my beautiful David, get in there and then just sort of like explore loss, death, because that's what it was about. Cancer, fear of dying, fear of cancer. I saw this lovely fella and he was great, and we did like 6 sessions, and I'd go and he'd be like, so how are you? And I'd be like, I'm alright. And then he'd smile and go, hey, how are you? And I'd say, I'm here. But what we did was we'd talk about stuff and I'd come away and draw it, because that was my therapy. And then I'd take it back and show him, and he's going, wow, that's really good. And you understand it all, and you know it all. You know what all these problems are. He said, I just need to give you a couple of tools to help you breathe through it, which he did. Cognitive therapy, just gentle, not pushing anything. And I worked through quite a bit with him. So that was a really clear-cut way, because using art with anything that's going on in your head, it just gets it out, whether you paint a picture of a daisy or a rabbit. And it ain't got to be right or wrong, good or bad. Leonard Cohen died when I was having them sessions, I remember now. And I was devastated, because David Bowie had died, then Lynn died, and then Leonard Cohen died, and it's like, oh no, my other hero. And I remember I gave him a card at the end of the 6 weeks. I said, thank you so much. You really have helped me to come to a better place in this emotional state. And I gave him a postcard of the Leonard Cohen thing, when he's got his coat on and it says, there's a crack in everything, that's where the light gets in. Drugs, sex, drugs and rock and roll. You have to have music with your drugs, whether you're dancing to it, listening to it, fucking to it, whatever. But music is the food of love. And of course some drugs help, some don't. If you freak out, have a bad one. It's pretty frightening. I never took hard drugs. I was never interested in heroin and stuff. Boy I went out with, call him a boy. He's my age now, so he's like heading on to 60. Oh, I adored him. He was gorgeous. Gorgeous, short, spiky haired, skinny like my David Bowie. I mean, we all did stuff, we smoked stuff, whatever. And bad heroin addict. Got no teeth now, and half a leg. Well, he's got the other one. One leg half is missing. Well, there's a lot missing. He calls himself the Time Lord. Love it. But he's happy. But it's not funny. So yeah, I met my husband, and we met and we were just inseparable. I was really, taken with him. I hadn't felt that way about anyone. But, like they say instinctively, you know when you see someone that's going to make a good baby. I'm sure that's half of it, with that instinct when you're attracted to someone. But it's also, I desperately wanted a baby. So it was the first person that I sort of got close to in any kind of relationship. And we bought our first house, and we had Ben, and I had the most awful postnatal depression. So then I went into the nut house. They put me away for a few weeks and took Ben off me. So I had Ben in the gym, and I think probably about by the January or the February, I completely went to the wall. And they said, you need to go in hospital. Well, my worst fear, because of my mother. And I'd never heard of postnatal depression. No one ever knew about it, or knew about that, or talked about that. I know it's crazy to think it now, but people didn't talk about it. No one knew about it. People didn't talk about anything, really. So it was like, you've had a breakdown, and I smashed everything up, and I screamed. He'd go out the door to go to work, and I'd be there with Ben at the window, and I'd be screaming and hammering on the window, don't go, don't leave me, don't leave me. It was awful time, desperate, desperate time. They put me in this hospital, Joyce Green up the road. And you didn't take your baby with you, so my mum and dad had him, and I was breastfeeding him. So he had that wrench, and I had that wrench, and it was awful. They put me on this medication, and I said, I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. After about 2 weeks, and they said, no, stay for another one. And I just wanted to get home, because all my life, I don't feel safe unless I'm home. I really am. Dorothy's my middle name. I really am. I've even bought the basket now, because there's no place like home. But of course, home is feeling comfortable in yourself, and I never did, ever. And so it was like awful. And then I came home and I stopped taking the tablets straight away, because I thought, I'm not my mother. I'm not having it, I'm not doing it. 2 or 3 months went by, and then I decided I wanted my little girl. So I slept with him once, then I had Lizzie. And then it started to fight again, and all sorts of shit happened, and then we got divorced. That was the first divorce. Yeah, I did love him. Or I thought I loved him. I don't think I have ever properly loved a man with proper equal respect, because I don't think I had it. Which is why I don't have relationships. Too many issues going on within me, babe. I think that's interesting, because there's that thing, being in the state of being in love. Yeah, it's a state. It's like love isn't a thing. Anger isn't a thing. You're in a state of anger, or you're a state of feeling love, which can go to euphoric and everything else. But there's something that comes into your body and you feel it, and then there's a thing of like romantic love, when you first meet someone and you are attracted to them and all you can think about is them, because you're in that state all the time. You know, that feeling of like, oh, they're going to ring me, oh, I can't wait to see them, and you're just filled with that. And then that changes, because different things come and fill you. So, you know, you get a lovely safe feeling, or a trust feeling, or it goes the other way and it's a fucking horrendous feeling, do you know what I mean? So there's that issue with love, emotion and that, and sex are two different things. If you can get the two things in a partner, then you're blessed. And if you find a partner that you can absolutely adore and trust, who does the same for you, and you respect each other, that's where it's at. I haven't managed to do it yet, but you know, never say never. My dad, when I was little, he was perfect. When I had teenage years, in my opinion, he couldn't cope. He never coped with anything emotional. Stayed away from me. So I was your prime emotional wreck. And at that time, when I hit my teen, my mum was having that breakdown. His mother was having a breakdown, and his sister was. Because his mother jumped out the bedroom window and killed herself around that time. And his sister jumped off the bridge at Dartford and tried to kill herself. My mum was walking under buses and taking overdoses. And then I was like, off, taking LSD and hitchhiking to Cornwall. What he did do was the woman that he was with would get everything of him. And so as his daughters, you'd think we would have. And we did when we were little. Yeah. But what happened was when he came back into my life and I was caring for him, and he discovered perhaps who I was, and I did tell him how upset, he knows how upset I've been with in my life. that I felt deserted by him and invaluable. But I spent my whole life feeling ashamed of who I am and not good enough and not pretty and not a princess, purely and simply because of how I felt about his rejection. So his behaviour and his need to look after himself affected me absolutely devastatingly, because it was in my teens when I got pregnant and I'd have an abortion. But my mum was telling me how much my dad was ashamed of me. But in this course of events in this last 2 years, he said I didn't even know about it. He said I didn't know about it. I said I wanted to be your princess. He said, oh yeah. I said, tell me. He said, what? And he looked away and I said, tell me. Tell me I'm your princess. You're my princess, well say it as you mean it. I am your princess. Because I wanted to be someone's princess. Like all the other little girls in the world. And I'm not saying I haven't been loved and adored and everything else, but I never felt it. If you don't love and adore yourself, how is anybody ever gonna see you? My granddad said to me, my dad's dad, I said I was getting married. He said, who's gonna wanna marry you? Who's gonna wanna marry you? And it was like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? And it was like, fucking shitty attitudes. Shitty attitudes from men. And men that don't relate, and men that disappear and do not sustain the emotional upliftment that their children need, because we're all children. But yeah, I had many relationships that I failed at badly, because I was in a place of need and not liking myself. So expecting the worst, getting the worst, and attracting the worst. And the only way to get a decent, really relationship is to by loving yourself first. Love and accept yourself, and then you can welcome someone in, not needing something from them, just enjoying them and accepting them. Talking relationships here, not sex. Different things, although they do come together at the same time, literally. I've had a wonderful sex life in my life. I've had great fun, and I was born in the late 50s. So I grew up with David Bowie in the 70s, and we were the back end of the 60s, free love and everything. And we did have free love. We took no bloody precautions except for the pill. You didn't worry about bloody sexual diseases and stuff. It wasn't as rife. It wasn't. But I hate the distinction between fellas calling women a slag because she's had lots of partners. And it's certainly acceptable for a man to do it. You learn about sex itself, for a start. Learn about you. But if you're just doing it because you want attention, then you're not learning fuck all. But I've had lots of affairs. I had an affair with a one-legged man one night. I did. And I was so drunk, I said to him, we should go upstairs. And he'd taken his leg off. I said, oh no, maybe not. My friend stared me. Oh, he was fucking gorgeous with long blonde hair. Oh, very good actually, very nice. But you know, just one-off thing, as you do, to compensate for something else in your life. Don't do it anymore now, darling. Celibate now, darling. I've had sex for about 5 years. And the last little rendezvous I had with a lovely little Frenchman, and it wasn't little. Lovely Frenchman. And he still texts me sometimes. Valentine's. Hello, my darling, mon chéri. Very sweet. So yeah, don't do it anymore. I've got a sausage dog. Because I thought, I'm not very good at it. I'm not saying that people that I got involved with were very good either. One of my other boyfriends at school, when I was finished with Johnny, Alistair Ramsey, everybody loved Alistair Ramsey. And he asked me out, and I said, all right then. And then I remember when I went round his house, he tried to get my knickers, and I was like, no. That must have been before Johnny. Anyway, years later, he's in the bleeding local paper, isn't he? For standing up at his bedroom window, flashing to everybody. I thought I'm fucking well out of that, ain't I? So well out of that. I've had fucking fucking arguments and fights with so many blokes. Because I fucking won't tolerate no shit. But I expect them, well, and I expect them to put on my shit. But sometimes you're so in a place of, and you think you're in love and you need someone, I love that person. It's not. It's, I think I love that person. It's actually, I need that person. I'm needing because I don't feel safe. When you finish a relationship, it's a grief process and it's an ending. And it's like, I've had so fucking many, babe. I don't trust myself in those situations because I had such, checkered life. I ain't no good at it. I ain't no good for nobody in that respect. Anyway, I'm better off being friends than getting all hibbity-jibbity. I don't feel the need to be all hibbity-jibbity anymore. Fucking hell, I've had sex coming out my ears in my life. Well, not literally, but I don't need to be going there. So, but then maybe I've shut that all down to protect myself, so I don't go there. Yeah. So I attract nutters. Loves attract like. We just went to Cyprus. What it was, I booked a massage. I always book a massage on holiday. So I said, right, I'm going to book a massage with this fella who's on reception, come barman, come kitchen man. And I said to him, right, I want to book a massage. And he said, yeah, okay. He said, when do you want it? I said, Sunday. Sunday? Well, yeah, Sunday. It don't matter, Sunday. What time? Well, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock Sunday. I said, well, you're going to write it down? He said, no, it's done. I said, you don't even know how long it went for. He said, well, it makes no difference. I said, of course it does. Sunday came and I went down to reception. No one turned up. He hadn't booked it. So the following day or whatever, we're in round by the pool. When I said, excuse me, I want compensation. He said, what for? I said, no massage. Oh, you come to the bar tonight and you have a free drink. So there it is. You're coming for your drink. What do you want? He said, what's your favourite cocktail? I went, a pina colada. And Lizzie, my daughter, went, a lazy daisy. I went, what? So he makes a lazy daisy for her, and I got my pina colada. Mine tasted like Nat's piss, and hers tasted like 10 bottles of vodka. And then it's like, yeah, we'll have another one. Yeah, we'll have another one. Someone else sent one over for Lizzie, because she's very beautiful. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, good job I got me back to him, innit? I've started a 5-page book for kids. It's called The Wonkies. So I've drawn this fabulous picture of the Wonkies. There's the Wonkies. So everybody in the family has got some kind of issue, right? So this is like maybe dad's deaf in one ear, like me. Suffers with depression, mother, like me. Autism, ADHD, most men. But blind in one eye. Little girl, because my eyesight's going in my left eye. So it's all sorts of things that I can relate to. And then a sausage dog with a leg missing. Briefly, the story's about the fact that we're all a bit wonky. That's the wonky family. And it came from, I was watching Christina's The Queen's Tilted. Love that song. And that song really meant a lot to me last year. And it was like around the time that Lynn was dying. And she's singing about, I know that I'm tilted, but actually I'm good. And so we all are. Everybody, no matter what's going on, we're human beings, animals, whatever. We're all a bit wonky. And the book is exploring the fact that you're taught to treasure and value beautiful things, and humans seek out the most beautiful thing, and then they put like a monetary value on it. So it's talking about hidden inside the ugly oyster is a pearl, but there's a pearl in each of us. We're all pearls, and we just have to look within to see the treasure within each. And then if you can find that, then you're going to have a string of pearls around you that's going to be a treasure in your life. So that's basically it. And then of course the wonky family would go on adventures. So it's okay to be wonky. We're all wonky. But I mean, drugs come in many a form. My mother was prescribed drugs for personality disorder. And I don't think it did her any good. She should have talked. She should have talked. You take drugs to escape. You're running away. You're running from your fears, from your pain. And they can mask it. It's like alcohol. That's a drug. You can get high on it. You can get yourself totally obliterated on it. And then you think, that's right, I fucking care. But you do care. And in the morning you care when you're throwing up and shitting and got pounded heads. And drugs are drug. Teas and coffee's a fucking drug. I live on tea and a fag. And a cake and chocolate. It's a drug. Everything's a drug. Love is the drug. Love is the drug. If you don't feel love, you seek out a drug. That's a bad habit. She says on her happy pills. I'm on wonderful happy pills now for my doctor. Because I'm diagnosed. And I got a new nose and I'm diagnosed. It's true. And I'm happy with my sausage dog and my bleeding bipolar and my happy pills that don't do no harm. Well, not meaning to. Trouble is when you take drugs and you're desperate for more drugs and you can't get them, you do a lot of people harm. And the ones you love, you do the most harm, because when you die, you broke their heart. Then one day, I was in the pub in the afternoon, and Francesca, my daughter, was up with her dad. And I was merrily pissed out my head with my boyfriend, having a laugh, trying to blot it all out. And he rings me up. You gonna come get her? I said, what? He said, you gotta come get her. I said, she's supposed to be staying. She don't want to stay, you gotta come get her. I said, I can't come and get her. I said, I'm a bit drunk, I can't come and get her. I can't drive and whatever. Come and get her now. You need to come and get her now. And I'm telling you, I can hear her crying in the background. I said, you really want to fucking make me come up and get my daughter in the state I'm in because of the way I'm feeling? I said, you really want me to come and get my fucking daughter now? Yeah, fucking right. Called a cab up there. You stay into the car, to the boyfriend and whoever was there, my mate was there. Stay in that car. Taxi driver, wait there. Knocked on that door now, he was living with his new girlfriend at the time. And she opened the door. And I said, where is he? She said, oh, push past her. And there he is, sitting in the living room with the baby, right? His baby, his new baby, who is now Jessica's little sister, who she's got to accept because he's got a new family. He's sitting on the sofa because he knows I'm coming. And he's got a fucking baby on his lap. I said, put the baby down. No, put the baby down. No, leave it out. And she's going, oh, you're fucking. I said, put that fucking baby down, so I'll fucking kill you. Did he fuck? To come here to my little baby Francesca, and I left. I said, you're a fucking cunt. You fucking selfish cunt. You don't care about her, you don't care about no one. You don't know a fucking other baby, you fucking. Ugh. You know, I could have sliced his head open because he beat my kids. He beat my kids when I weren't there. He fucking hurt my kids. Oh, and it all came out. That's what alcohol does for you. Frightened me, so. Did whack him a few times in the early days. I couldn't believe that I was in love with him once. It's all about need. It all comes back to fucking need. I thought I needed a big, strong man to make my life wonderful, to love me and adore me and protect my children. What's that as well? Fuck. Oh, that is a cunt. And I really struggle now. Oh. Because I'm really trying to live in a sense of peace on my drugs, on my happy pills. But I'm really trying to have a sense of peace and forgive myself for the fucking wrong things I've done, terrible things, but to forgive others. But he is like the thorn, because he hurt my kids. And I think if someone hurts your babies, it's much, much more painful than if they hurt you. And that brings me back to my fucking mother. I didn't give a fuck who hurt me. Well, she might have done, she did. Well, she probably did, I don't know. Couldn't cope with it, but she didn't care or love me enough to stay alive. She hurt so much all her life. Fucking injection she had up the arse once a month. Can't remember what it's called now. Depixel. Didn't help her depict anything. Gave her a spasm in the muscle. And it made her a little bit loose. She shit herself. She came home. She was living with me. And she came home and I had the door go. I'm sure I've told this story. But anyway, I heard bang, bang, bang on the door. And I was like, yeah, right, I'm coming. Oh, open the door. Open the door. What? I've shit myself. I open the door and she's fucking covered in shit. Because these drugs, she couldn't control her body. And she walked down the hall towards the house. Oh, bless her. Bless her cottons. Get up. Get in that bath. Get in that bath now. Pulled them down. They had to be thrown. Gigantic wigs. I'll wear them now. Hosed her down. But that's what you do for someone that you love. And when she was dying from cancer, I had to do it. I turned up at the ward. And the nurse said, oh, your mother. I went, yeah. What's she done now? She shit herself in the bed. And she will not get out of the bed. She will not let us clean her. And the whole ward stinks. I went, I did actually smell it before I got here. I didn't realise it was her. Right, all right. So when I get out of the bed, no. You cannot lay in that bed in your own shit. I said, because nobody else wants to smell it. Get out. Get out of the bed. We've got to get you in there. No. Leave me alone. I was so angry. Anyway, me and the nurse, she listened to the nurse, got her in a wheelchair, took her in the cubicle, they stripped her bed and everything else, and then we showered her down. We couldn't get her into the bath, she was too slippery. Shitty slip. And then, she was then covered in soap, and then she was all slippery from that. She couldn't stand up. She was dying, bless her. And I was on my knees, and I was like washing her with the soap and rubbing her body. And I was so angry with her, but I loved her so much as well. And she was just like a little girl, but she was my mum. And you can wash and wash and wash and try and scrub away the shit out of your life. It don't go. Really, the smell doesn't go, the shame doesn't go. And she lived with shame and guilt. And then it was passed down to me. But when it got to my daughter, we didn't do that anymore. She didn't have her baby flushed down the toilet, she had her baby. And his name is Johnny. She called him Johnny, which is quite ironic, because my first proper love was Johnny. I digressed, because we was talking about drugs, weren't we? She didn't have any drugs for the cancer. Well, she didn't want any treatment. She didn't want anything. She just wanted to die. And of course they did give her morphine. And then she started hallucinating and seeing people, and that was nothing new, because she was quite schizophrenic and hearing voices. But whatever, so we laughed with her. And I cut her toenails. I remember being there with her, and I cut her toenails. She was quite out of it. And then I put the pink sponge that was on a stick, I put it in the water and put it on her mouth, which was all sort of swollen and ulcerated and dry. and I stroked her head and her hair. And she used to do that for me when I was a little girl. It was my comfort, and I do that for my babies, my grandchildren now. Always stroke their hair and their foreheads and get them to go to sleep. And she went to sleep. I told her, go to sleep. Just go to sleep. And she did. Then I cut a lock of her hair and kept it, and kissed her forehead. Oh, there's a lot of sadness, isn't there? A lot of sadness, a lot of anger, and a lot of escape. First drugs I took were hers. I fucking raided the kitchen cupboard for her Actifan and her antidepressants, and then I washed that down with a bottle of fucking sherry. Because I was so unhappy at school. Because I was shameful. And that's the pattern. And the pattern of the cycle. But we have to break cycles. So I need to forgive that man that hurt my children. Because that's a negative cycle. And I need to forgive myself. I've forgiven my mum. To forgive, you have to accept. You have to be at peace. I really fancy a gin and tonic. I've not had one in years.